A new Gallup poll finds only 2% of US investors own Bitcoin. Pantera reporting a massive 5-year crypto investment return over 10,000%, and they have some predictions for the future. Are they bullish or bearish? And XLM is coming out with another partnership. So to start off, we can jump ahead and take a look at the overall market cap, right around 300 billion US dollars again, 297. We see a lot of the top coins pretty much hovering within 1% of what they've been, except Tron is up slightly. If we look at the biggest gains in the top 100, we have Z Classic, which has been on the move for a few days now, Namecoin Burst, Byteball, Bytes, Bitcoin Gold, Tron, and a number of other coins up over a few percent. If we take a look at Bitcoin first, you can see here, still consolidating, which the last video I made about 2 days ago, this is what I said I thought would be the best case scenario. If we kind of hold where we're at, kind of give the RSI time to even out, give the market time to settle, before maybe trying to make this big push. In my opinion, this is a really crucial area right here. It is the 200-day moving average. Right here you can see historically there's a lot of support and resistance right here, right around between like 83 and 8,500 US dollars. It was support back in May. It was both resistance and support back in March and April. And it was support back in February. So this is a pretty big area. And if it were able to get above this and get above the 200-day moving average, you wouldn't see that big resistance we saw back at the beginning of May where the 200-day moving average was. Back then, the 200-day moving average and 10,000 US dollars for Bitcoin were both at the same level, most likely making it much more difficult for Bitcoin to get over that. But now we have the 200-day moving average a lot lower. So if we are able to get above that, there might not be as much resistance around the 10K mark like there was 2 months ago. Now if we take a look at Litecoin here, kind of again consolidating and holding, really been fighting between about 75 US dollars and 90 US dollars for over a month. The RSI is dead in the middle right here at 50. And yeah, pretty much have to wait for a move. There's not much we can talk about in regards to that. XLM has some news today that I do want to get into, but we've been consolidating for about 2 weeks here. So if we want to jump into this first article here, it was published on ccn.com, titled Only 2% of US investors own Bitcoin. Most view it as very risky, Wells Fargo poll. I also have this one pulled up here. It was published on Cointelegraph.com. Basically the same thing, but they have slightly different takes and slightly different information here. This one was published by Maxwell William, and I cannot find an author for this one. So started off, a Wells Fargo Gallup polls revealed only 2% of investors in the United States currently hold Bitcoin. And a finding that optimists will argue shows massive unlocked potential, while cynics will paint it as the glass being half empty. I think if anything, this shows what the first half of that sentence says, that there is a lot of potential, a lot of untapped areas of this market, and a lot of people not being invested in cryptocurrency. However, with the lack of people invested, interest remains high, with 26% of US investors saying that they were intrigued by the flagship cryptocurrency Bitcoin. It does say, however, less than 0.5% say they will be buying it in the near future. Those numbers could change potentially if some new regulation or some new use in the market does end up going through, such as an ETF. According to this article, the survey was conducted between May 7th and 14th among U.S. investors with more than $10,000 in stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. So these are more investors, not necessarily people who are only interested in the crypto market. I would argue that a lot of people watching crypto videos on YouTube are most likely only invested in cryptocurrency. I do know that a lot of people that watch these videos also dabble in gold and also in the traditional markets, but I'm sure a large percent of people are solely invested in cryptocurrency. Actually, that's a good thing to leave a comment about. If you're only invested in cryptocurrency, maybe you can leave a comment about that, or if you are diversified into gold and some other stock markets, leave a comment about that. So according to the data from this poll, according to the Cointelegraph article, even though 96% of investors have heard of Bitcoin, only about 3 in 10, or 29%, say they know something about digital currencies, with 67% saying they've heard, but they don't even know much about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. It says here, a few paragraphs down, that the statistics on gender and age show that young men are the most likely demographic to say they know something about Bitcoin or other digital currencies. Just by talking to most of the people in the space and reading comments, I can agree that that's definitely the case. Although there are some women, it's mostly men And according to the other article, majority of them are between 18 and 49 years old. I would question this study. It says a study on Americans and cryptocurrencies commissioned by Finder.com in February showed 8% or around 26 million Americans have purchased cryptocurrency. To me, that number sounds a little bit high. And even if that were the case, February is essentially like right after the peak. So I would definitely think that majority of those people that were holding or bought cryptocurrency then might already be out of the market, considering that was about 6 months ago and the market has tumbled quite a bit and a lot of enthusiasm has left too. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people that were pulled back 6 months ago already might have sold their cryptocurrency or have left the space completely or are kind of waiting on the sidelines to get back in when interest returns and prices go back up. It says here as well, to end the article, a recent report on the top 10 crypto projects that raised a minimum of $1 million in 2017 revealed that on average each showed a return on investment of over 136,000%. And then we have this article published on Coindesk.com. Shout out to Nicolesh D again. This is like one of the third articles I think that I've read by him. So this is titled that Pantera reporting a massive 5-year crypto investment return. So it's been around for essentially 5 years, and its lifetime return is over 10,000%. So the co-chief investment officers and Dan Moorhead, who is one of them as well as the CEO, they had this to say: "We wanted to share the original logic as it is equally compelling today. At the time, an email sent by Moorhead predicted that Bitcoin, which was trading at $104 at the time, would see $5,000 because Bitcoin dominates cash, electronic fiat money, gold, bearer bonds, large stone discs, etc. It can do all the things that each of those can. It's the first global currency since gold, and it's the first borderless payment system ever." And their prediction was correct. Bitcoin did go over 5,000 US dollars. According here, 3 months later, Bitcoin was trading at $253 at the time, which was up from $104 when this email was written. And then the CEO wrote, "In my opinion, it's like deciding whether to buy Microsoft back in the day at 20 cents. It was hard to do when the stock was just at 10 cents. In the fullness of time, it was clearly a great trade. I believe Bitcoin is just like that. The world's first global currency since gold and the world's only borderless payment system. Now that Silk Road has gone, a new wave of sophisticated investors are entering." So that is an old quote. And you can see from back then, he was 100% correct. And so are they still bullish on Bitcoin like they were back then? It says here, perhaps unsurprisingly, they're still very bullish on Bitcoin. And I think rightfully so, you know? They were right back then, and I think most likely they'll be right in the future. So Stellar Lumens is a distributed ledger that provides an instant clearing, settlement, and execution platform, enabling value to move across borders directly between banks and payment gateways. Transfer2, which Stellar has just partnered with, operates a cross-border mobile payments network for emerging markets, which interconnects financial institutions and digital financial service providers globally. By integrating Transfer2 with Stellar Lumens, Transfer2 will enable a more seamless and efficient settlement method between its network partners. This is one of many advancements that Stellar and Stellar.org, Stellar Lumens have been geared towards doing, specifically in the past 2 or 3 months. Stellar is one of those coins that I have liked for a while, but I've recently become much more interested in it. Coinbase as well is interested in it, noting that it's one of those 5 cryptocurrencies listed there. I know a lot of people that comment and watch these videos are interested in Stellar as well. And I obviously can't give financial advice, but if I would, for people watching, I think one coin that you should probably just take a look into and research more and see if you're interested in is definitely XLM. Once you get past all of the comparisons to XRP, considering that the individual who made XRP also made XLM, XLM is no longer involved in any way with XRP. And XLM is also free from what possibly could deem XRP a security. XLM will not be deemed a security. And yeah, just overall good stuff coming out for Stellar so far. I really like what I'm seeing with that project. And I did just want to point this out as well. So I don't know much about HitBTC, the exchange here. This is a Reddit post posted by Good Golly T on the top of the cryptocurrency Reddit. And I guess I just wanted to give some attention to it in case you're using HitBTC. I actually do know that a lot of coins, in particular, smaller ones, you can only get on this exchange. But apparently there's some problems with it. According to this individual, if anyone is reading this and are new to the scene, do not use this exchange. They will take your deposit and keep it within their site without letting you withdraw when you desire. And they have really bad customer support, apparently. And here are just some horror stories about it. So yeah, if you've heard about this, maybe just be careful. Let me know your opinion on this. Like I said, I don't know too much about it, but I've seen a few posts like this, even particularly from a big trader on Twitter. So yeah, just let me know what you think.